Welcome back on the show. It's Kansas Sports Chatter, and we bring in our next guest today to talk some girls basketball. That is the Fort Scott High School girls basketball coach, and Pechone Stepps. And Coach, appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having us. I was excited when you contacted us, and we're excited that you wanted to reach out and talk about Lady Tiger basketball.
This time of the year, we're kind of almost almost to that halfway point of the regular season. Like, what's that grind like for a basketball team?
Well, you learn about yourself the first half of the season. I like to say, you have your games before Christmas, and we consider that our preseason where we're trying to work out the kinks. And then you have a couple games, then you start back up after Christmas. So you get a chance to work on some things. And, each night in a game presents a different challenge, and we play a competitive schedule. So we learn about ourselves daily.
You mentioned some of the kinks. Like, what were some of the kinks early on that you were trying to work out, back in December?
Well, one of the things is, even though I have 5 seniors who've played a lot of basketball for me over the course of 4 years, just trying to develop our bench so that 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th player, we're young in that area. So they didn't have a lot of experience, and just trying to get them some early minutes to play varsity. And as you could be playing freshman ball or you could be playing JV ball, and you get those quarters and get that experience, but it's a little different. You as a coach, you wouldn't think it would be, but it's different when you get into a varsity game. And sometimes girls put that extra pressure on themselves, and we don't want that. We want them to continue to relax and play, and no matter what time it is, it's still just a game of basketball. So just try to work through those early kinks with the young girls and try to get them acclimated to varsity girls basketball.
Yeah, I feel like, depth is always good in any type of sport, whatever you're playing. But you mentioned, kind of figuring out that rotation. Like, and I know like some basketball coaches like to have, want to go 10, 11, 12 deep. Others might only want to play 6 or 7. Like, what's that perfect range for you as far as how deep you'll go into that bench?
Well, I think each game is different. And then depending on the style of play or the team that we're playing, I think it changes from game to game. And that's why we want to prepare each one of our girls to be ready. We kind of take that next man up mentality, but that's why it's so important in our JV and our freshman teams to continue to develop those girls in practice and get those reps and get those fundamentals, because here we're just not even trying to build for 1 year. You're trying to build a whole program. So as girls graduate, other girls slide in, and it's just the next man up mentality.
What's it been like kind of navigating 4A East? I know you still have some, your good opponents coming up on your schedule, but I mean, I feel like 4A East is just loaded. I mean, you got, Amigo and Ottawa, Eudora, yourself, and, Independence. So, like, what's it been like just being on that east part of the state this year in 4A?
Man, this year it is loaded, probably more than ever that I've seen in my 12 years. And, you try not as a coach to get on the Acacia website and kind of see where everybody's falling, but, it's hard sometimes. And we have to take care of the game that's in front of us. We can only play our schedule. We can't play somebody else's schedule. But each night, man, it's a challenge, not only in your non-conference, and we play a good non-conference schedule, but in our own conference. I tell people all the time that there's no nights off in the SEK. Our league is very challenging. And, each game, you got to come in there ready to go and ready to focus and give your attention to that coach. We have a lot of good coaches in that league, a lot of good players. And so we just try to take one game at a time, no matter who we're playing.
Does that make it easier as far as putting that schedule together? Obviously, you mentioned your conference games, but even that non-conference schedule, like putting that together, knowing that you really don't have to go too far west, I guess. You can kind of stay close to the border.
Yeah, our athletic director, Coach Delatorre, does a great job with our scheduling on the boys and on the girls side. He presents some games where we get some great challenges, and it's just going to prepare us for down the line and for tournament play and for league play. So in our league, we play different teams with different styles, and so that's exciting, and it tests you as a team and as a coaching staff to prepare for those games. And then we're getting ready to come up for our midseason tournament, so we'll get a chance to play some other teams, on the 5A level, and we go to Frontenac, Kansas for our midseason tournament. So that's going to be exciting. So we'll play some Missouri teams. We'll play a 5A team in Andover, possibly, depending on how the bracket comes out. So again, each game, presents new challenges, but we're excited to take on those challenges, and it's only going to make us better in the long run. If it's a loss, we learn from a loss. If a win, we learn from the win as well.
You being a Fort Scott guy and now coaching there, what's it been like just being able to coach in your hometown?
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, when you get a chance to you grow up in Fort Scott, and Fort Scott has a great tradition in just all sports, football, basketball, track, baseball. Our baseball team just won a state championship, and we have a lot of great people, great support. I think Fort Scott's one of the towns that probably travels. In my opinion, I could be biased and selfish on that. We travel the best in all our sports. We have great community support, and just getting a chance to come back and coach in your hometown is always special. And now I'm old enough now where I've got a chance to coach some of my teammates and classmates' kids, so that's a little different, but it's exciting to be able to do that as well.
Now, those like former teammates, are they giving you like advice on like their kids when they send them your way?
Oh yeah, you always get that. Everybody wants to tell you how to do a certain thing, but that's exciting. I mean, that's part of it. Parents are going to be parents, and those are the tricky things you have to navigate as a coach. But we have great community support, and it's just exciting. That's just part of what you sign up for as a coach.
Did you always know you wanted to be a coach? Like, when did that settle in for you?
I think when you're growing up, outside of your parents, I think your teachers and your coaches have the biggest impact on your life. I was always a sports fan, and Dad put a ball in our hands early on, being young, and so I coach and I played basketball in college. My middle brother Travis, he played football here at Fort Scott High School, won a state championship, and he went on to play at Pitt State and was All-American there. My younger brother Trent, he was a three-sport athlete as well, but he played. He won a state championship in basketball, so I'm a little jealous about that. Both of them got a state championship in high school. I was close; we ended up getting third, but we fell a little short. But he went on to play football and quarterback at Coffeyville and finished up his career at Washburn. So we have a sports family. Both my parents are educators, so they instilled education first and let the education take you as far as you need to go.
I mean, I feel like you could be coaching anywhere in the country or in the world, and you're going to want to win right there. But like being from Fort Scott, does that any like extra motivation to to see that program succeed?
Oh, of course. One of our slogans is having that Tiger pride. And I think you carry that Tiger pride with you, wherever you go, wherever you're representing, in whatever form of life that you're in. So whether you're on Wall Street or whether you're an educator or whether you're a coach, it's always a sense of pride of representing your hometown and getting them on the map in different states or different towns or different cities.
Who did you learn from the most as far as developing your coaching style, or just things that you took from, or somebody that you took from for your coaching philosophy? Like, who did you learn from the most?
I think just coaches in general had a great impact on who you play for. I think it started with my, in middle school. I had a great coach, great coaches there in middle school. Then in high school, Coach Miller was my freshman coach, and he's since passed, but he did a great job in just teaching fundamentals. Don Miller, and then in high school, Danny Brown, who I played for, was a longtime coach here at our high school. Just learned a lot from him, and then it went on to my college coaches at Independence Community College, then at Northern State University and Aberdeen, South Dakota. And so just along the way, I've been fortunate enough to just have coaches to make a great impact on me, and I learned a lot, and I carry some of those lessons that I learned from them today in my coaching style.
How do you keep learning in the game? Like, so, I feel like it's a constant sport of any sport that, you have to continue that education, if you will. Like, so how do you like keep learning? What things are you trying to pick up now?
Well, I think, one of the biggest things is I think you hire great people around you. I have a great staff around me who's always eager to try new things. And that's always good to get some input. I have some great friends that are still in the coaching business at all levels, whether it be high school, whether it be junior college, whether it be college on the men's and women's side, because I've coached on both sides, coached college men's basketball and college women's basketball. So you can lean on them for ideas and support as well. And then again, what you pick up, as any coach, you watch a lot of ball on TV. So you go through and you see some things and you push the DVR and record it and say, this might work for us. Or you might still inbounds play from Bill Self or somebody like that. So, those are always good. And then, my mom she thinks she's on the staff too sometimes. And so she's always watching something and say, hey, you need to put this in for your girl. So you get it from all areas, but you take it in stride.
Now, does she get to sit on the bench from time to time if she has all this advice?
Oh, no. But she's across the way. I can see her in my peripheral. She's across the way when she comes to the game. But when I come back to the house, we have a coach's roundtable. So she tells me what we did wrong or what we did right.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Coach, I appreciate your time and best of luck the rest of the season.
I appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for sports, and thank you for covering us. Go Big Red.
That is Pechone Stepps, the head coach of the Fort Scott girls basketball team. We'll have more of the show right after this.